Hello everyone, I'm Larry Satchwell, and today I made this Barnwood rustic picture frame. I really like it, the way that it turned out. I like the patina on the wood. If you want to see how I made it, I'm going to show you. Well, that picture frame started out as two benches that were in the garden on the pond for a long time. And they eventually rotted out. It's not Barnwood, it's cypress. And I love the color and the patina in it. And I know they're old because of the screws I've used. I haven't used these screws in a decade or so. They've been down in the barn. I have no idea how many times I've moved them from one place to another. So I finally decided it was time to dismantle them and make them into something more useful. Here we go. This is what I ended up with. I have four of these that I'm actually think I'm going to throw them in the bonfire. I can't get these, the screws are in there, they're ruined. There's just not enough usable wood here. I'm trying. So I ended up with four rails here. These are 32 inches long and 2 3/4. Yeah, 2 3/4 wide. One of them is significantly wider than the others. This is a full inch. The others are all milled down to 3/4 of an inch. And they're straight. For the top here, I got some spiders crawling on it. They're not real straight. And of course, they've got a lot of rot on the end. But they're going to certainly be usable. So it's over to the table saw. I'm going to rip 2 inches off of each one of these. And just so I know I have enough material. And I'm going to rip these down to 1.5 inches. And it'll all make sense in a few minutes. This one really got chewed up. I was really lucky it didn't break the surface there. And the other one is just as bad. It's really thin right there. Anyway, I could have just left this like it is. And I have my recess here for the picture. And I don't like this fresh cut here. That's why I'm going to frame it in this. And so I've got four of these. I want to make sure I pick out the best and make sure I've got at least 24 inches. Ooh, it's going to be close on this one. Maybe I should set this one aside. It's going to be close. Going to be close. That's it. The glue up, and I'll have to wait a couple hours. Type on 2 here. It will set in a couple hours. It won't have full strength. But that's the, I'll take a time out here and make sure I've got everything where I want it to be. Well, when I stepped away to get my ducks in a row to make sure I wasn't using the rotted stuff here, I forgot to turn the camera back on and show you the profile here. And all I did was clamp this together for a couple hours. And so this is a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. And this is the height of the material you're working with, and that might vary. So that's the profile. Well, the clamps are off, so this is what I have. I am going to be really lucky if I can get this off of here. But I'm going to try. The 21 inches are no problem. And if I had that other rail, it wouldn't have been a problem. But it's a problem. So we'll see. I'm going to cut this off as close as I can. I would really like to miss this screw hole, but it's Barnwood, and it is what it is. So I'm going to cut my angles over here at the my miter sled. So with this jig, this will be a 90, and even if it's off, it'll all add up. So I've got my right corners cut. Now it's time to cut the left. I have a little stop block right here, so I can get them both exactly the same. With all the pieces cut here, it's time for some assembly. I realized that when I went to cut the left-hand corner of this, it was going to go right through that hole. So I put it back on the right side and cut just enough off. And, I wish that hole wasn't there, but it does add character to it. And when people ask why you drilled that hole there, you can tell them the Beatles did it. So I want to dry fit this thing first. Looks pretty good. Miters have been my kryptonite all my woodworking life. Before I put it together, I'm going to gently brush each piece. Steel brush here. It's not harsh though. I mean, it's not a real hard, stiff one. I just want to mainly get the dust off of this. If I put a finish on this, it's going to look so different. So I don't think I want to put a finish on it. Just clean these up a bit. Since this is all end grain, I'm going to put some glue on here and let it set at least 5 to 15 minutes. Let it soak in a bit. I don't want any of this glue to leak out, so I'll be use it very sparingly here on this thin side. Almost finished. So a couple things I could do here. There's no nails in this anywhere, and I'd like to keep it like that. I guess I could put a couple of Craig screws here, but I'm going to use some number 10 biscuits, and I'm going to put them right in the corners here. I think there's room for 2. I've got my Skill biscuit joiner. I had forever. I made a lot of stuff with this. Well, here's the finished product. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I love the patina on the wood. The carpenter beetle holes only add to it. But the backstory on the picture. This was one of the last times my younger brother Rick and I went fishing together. As you may know, he passed away a couple of years ago, and he had this canvas print made for me. And I've had it rolled up in a drawer ever since. I just didn't feel like dealing with it. But I thought it was time. So I took it over to Hobby Lobby. They vacuum mounted it on some kind of a cardboard for me, and it looked a lot better than it did rolled up in the drawer. This is the biggest fish that he ever saw come out of his lake. It's a 10 or 12 acre lake. There's only 5 or 6 homes on the lake, and I was really pleased to catch it. In fact, it was a bigger bass than he ever caught. And he and I had a lot of fishing trips. Not enough, but we had a lot. So I'm going to probably hang this in the weight room where I'll see it every morning, exercise room. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. The only other problem I have now is I created a whole new pile of scrap wood. But I'll deal with it. Thanks for watching.